because I want you to get the point. So either Allah spread that message, and therefore the Quran is false because it goes against that message, or here's the second option, or this message that is the dominant one, Trinity, crucifixion, that message is not true. It's not the true message. That's the message that the disbelievers flooded in and corrupted, right, with the Trinity and all that kind of stuff. So it's a corrupted message that became dominant, which would mean that Allah then failed to keep his promise to make sure that the followers of Jesus and their message is dominant until the day of resurrection. So then Islam will still be false that way. So it's a dilemma either way.
Okay, so I would say we believe that the dominant message, like you have to set a boundary, like for example, you are using the dominant sense in like which religion was always like, sorry, you're talking about how would I say? We talked about it earlier, like the numbers don't matter, right? Or it does matter. Like for you said, remember that if any time in the history, if there was a time where the dominant text or dominant message was not prevailing over the other ones, that means it didn't work. I'm sorry, probably I'm not making sense, but did you understand what I mean?
So you're it sounds like you're going about the number thing again.
Yeah, no, for example, like Quran says that the believers will prevail over the non-believers. It doesn't say dominant or message or anything. It just says the believers will above the non-believers.
Yeah,
That's what Quran says.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they will outnumber them. I'm saying that their message will be dominant over the false message. Their message will be the victorious message over the false message. So, like, because I agree with you, like you made a good point. Jesus and his movement started off very small. Like, it was him and 12 others, right? The disciples, only 12 of them. And then you get a few other followers of Jesus. But then they're spreading the message. They're trying to get stopped. They're getting put in prison. They're getting persecuted. However, they're continuing to spread the message and preach their message, and it becomes the dominant message. It becomes victorious. It never gets stopped. It doesn't get polluted. Heresies rise up. Other people, like schisms, happen that try to infiltrate the belief, but still the true foundation belief stands and knocks out every false belief that tries to come up against it for 2,000 years.
Okay, brother. So here I want to say, like, because his disciples taught too, right? We learned from his disciples, right? So the message that he was teaching, that during when he was alive, so that message, we believe that's what Quran teaches, so that's what Muhammad teaches, so, and we believe in that too. So that is what's dominating during that time. That would be my argument,
But it's not, though. It wasn't dominating at that time.
So during the time when Quran was,
for example, before the Quran, before the Quran came about, because that's 600 AD. So for the first 500 years, 500 years prior, you got Jesus and his apostles, right?
Yeah.
In regards to the crucifixion, what was the dominant message? Was it that Jesus wasn't crucified, or that he was crucified and rose again? What was the dominant message?
He was.
Exactly. So now
we all believe in. Okay, yeah.
So it's not until Muhammad comes 600 years later, and then you get this message. Oh, well, no, Jesus wasn't crucified, and then Islam begins to grow. But for the first 600 years, the message has been and continued that Jesus was crucified and rose again on the third day.
Okay, so yeah, I understand that. I would say even if they believe in Jesus was crucified, that's a dominant text, right? Now, according to Quran, I don't think they believe in that, even if it's wrong, there is no problem in it, because Quran says that Allah made appear to the people that he was crucified. But God says that he took him away, but he made appear to the people that he was crucified. You see? So even if people think that he was crucified, That's what they see or believe, right?
Yeah,
So
but
yeah, if they
it,
believe in that,
it
right or
doesn't.
wrong, whatever,
But it doesn't just stop there, brother Joy. They
what does
continue
it
to
say?
they continue to preach this, and they
Yeah.
continue to preach. They say Jesus was crucified and rose again on the third day. That's their message that they're preaching now, right? He's the Messiah who died for our sins and rose again on the third day. If Allah's the one who even gave this illusion that Jesus died in the first place, so not only does Allah give an illusion that Jesus died, but he then also helps the disciples spread the message that he actually did die and rose again. He helps them spread that message.
Yeah, they can spread that message, but
But it's false,
but
right?
yeah, people spread whatever they see, or
But
whatever
you're
they understand.
no,
But you have to like,
you're
yeah.
missing it, because this isn't about the people. It's about Allah helping them spread a false message. If you're saying they thought they saw Jesus crucified anyway, because that's what Allah said. He made it appear so. Okay.
Hmm.
So then that's what they believe because they thought they saw that. But then they went on preaching Jesus was crucified and rose again on the third day, died for their sins. Allah helped them spread that message.
I don't say Allah help them spread the message. That message was spread, There's a lot of stuff about Prophet Muhammad that is spread too. That is like a fabricated hadith.
Is it is
So
it a
Allah didn't
dominant
help.
is it a dominated message?
Now
Is it,
yeah, there is a lot of stuff that we know from Islam, hadith, and this and that. That is a fabricated, but we learn it later. But a lot of
yeah,
people believe.
right. And so you see the fabricated hadith are not the prevailing hadith, right? They're not the dominating hadith, right? They're the more obscure ones, kind of pushed to the side or
Hmm.
whatever, right? So, like I said, you have the disciples preaching that Jesus died for their sins and rose again on
Hmm.
the third day, and that has been the dominant message of the followers of Jesus ever since.
Okay, brother. So then I'll need to study a little bit more, and then I'll try to come back to your chat again. Okay.
Yeah. So let me just conclude it with this on this issue and let me show you. All right. So
Okay.
this is the
Yeah.
problem. So because the dominant message is that Jesus is the Son of God who died for our sins and rose again, since that's the dominant message, then that means that Allah helped spread that. That's the message Allah helped spread according to the Quran.